part 3 of the Simple Safe camera doorbell with the green blinking light. What I did is in part 2, I showed you the unboxing of the new batteries that we just had come in. I'll make sure I put that link is actually in the description of part 1. So these are the batteries, and this is the old battery that was in there. It was kind of bloated. I got the numbers off of that, and that's how I came up with this part number. And so what I had to do is actually take off the wiring harness. I had to swap it. So what you'll see here is my swap job. I took off the old one. I took off the old one here, and I placed the old one on my new battery. And I did my heat shrink. Also did my heat shrink and my soldering to those wires to make sure we got a good connection. And I use my, if you don't have one of these, you don't have to use this exact one. But this is my soldering station. It's pretty cool. I have the heater there, the blower. I use that to heat up. You know, you can heat up using the blower, or you can heat up using the soldering iron right here. Right now, the soldering iron says it's at 896 degrees. So I use the soldering iron to disconnect the old wire from the old battery right here, and then I use a soldering solder to connect it to my new wire, and then I use my blower here to heat shrink my heat shrink on these wires. So now that that's done, we can go ahead and put this back into the simple safe and see if it actually works now. Again, my simple safe was giving me a green flashing, green slow blinking light, and there was nothing that told me what that green light means. Come to find out that it's basically saying that it can't connect to the Wi-Fi. The camera can't connect to the Wi-Fi because the battery doesn't hold a charge anymore. They don't tell you that you can replace the battery. They don't want you to replace the battery. They want you to buy a new one. This will show you guys how to replace the battery. So once I ordered it from Amazon, I did my wire switch, and now I'm going to just run this back into the motherboard. So try to do this as simple as possible. You have your connector for your battery on this side. So again, I had to take off two little black screws here with my handy dandy tiny tiny screwdriver that you use for your glasses. If you have a glass kit, repair kit, this is the screwdriver that you use for that. So I took off the screw that was a black screw that was here and a black screw that was over here, and that allowed me to actually lift this board up a little bit, because what we're going to do now is we're going to slide these wires. We're going to slide these wires in between that board. But what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and connect the battery we're going to go ahead and connect the battery to this little port right here. So let's do that first, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm going to go ahead and connect that to that part. And it should just go right in there, just how it came out. The way I took it out was with my handy dandy little screwdriver there. Screwdriver just kind of pried it out. I'm just trying to pry it, put it back in the little hole. My big pudgy fingers. I guess if I get it right, where's the groove at? There's like a little guided groove in here somewhere. All right. So we have the battery back into the respective slot. And now what I'm going to do is, because this board here, I have to lift up on this little board a little bit, and I'm going to slide this wire in between that white pillar and the board. So you kind of push up on it a little bit, not too much. You don't want to break anything, but just wiggle that in there. And I know if I wasn't trying to do this for the camera, I could probably do it easily like that right there. What's going on, everybody? I hope y'all had a good day today. This is so as you can see, I kind of slid that in between the board and that white pillar right here, slid it between there. And now, with that being said, now I can take my base, the little housing here, and all I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this battery into the housing. Put the battery into the housing like so. I'm going to get my double-sided sticky tape, which is what I didn't get. But now the way they had it in here originally, they had the words facing down. So I'm going to put the words facing down again. right there, just like that. It kind of fits just like that back into the housing. So I'm gonna tape that down. It's gonna be nice and taped down. And then after that, I'm gonna put my little screws back. So now, since I have that there, I'm gonna get my black screws, and I put all my little screws for this device, which it had a total of like, I don't know, maybe it was 8. It had 10 screws that I took out. I put them all in here. So I'm gonna open this up and get my screws out and put this all back together. Put it all back together. I got some other stuff in here that does not apply to this. Some leftover stuff from other projects, I guess. But it's pretty simple to identify the silver screws and the black screws. So here's my little tiny black screw. I know you can't zoom in on that. So that's gonna go into that piece where I had to lift up on the little white. That piece where I had to lift up right here. I'm gonna go ahead and screw that back in. Oh yeah, it's magnetic. See if you guys can see that. We got that one in, and then there's one more black one that's gonna go on the other side. And there's, again, for this, it was black screws and it was also silver screws. So just making sure. And that one's gonna go, apologies. That's gonna go right there. We're gonna screw that in there. See me playing with this right? Holding the camera with one hand. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, let me get this darn screw. Give me a second, you guys. I'm trying to do that junk. Okay, there it is. I'm on a wooden table, so easy to find it. I'm gonna go ahead and put that back in there because trying to video and hold one hand and use the magnet tip to guide the screw in is not it. All right, we got that there. Just make sure you get that screw back into that white pillar that's kind of holding everything together. All right, so we have our screws in our motherboard. We have our battery connected. This is, again, is part 3. The only thing I need to do now is just go ahead and hit my battery with some double-sided sticky tape. Tape that to the bottom here. We're gonna put everything back together, and actually right now I should be able to, because what I was doing, I was also hitting the reset button, right? I would hit the reset button, and actually I'm not gonna actually I do have some double-sided. Let me get this double-sided sticky tape real quick. Hold on one second. Okay, so this is the sticky tape that came off of the original. I'm feeling it's such a tight fit in here that it's probably not even necessary for me to do anything else other than this. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick that in there, push it down. Yeah, it fits perfectly. That fits nice and snug in there. That's my battery. Again, this is one of the things that they don't want you to do. They don't want you to be able to fix your simplisafe doorbell because they want you to buy it again. So now I'm going to go ahead and just click everything in place. Okay, click it in place. Got that, clicked it in place. And now I'm going to go ahead and add my silver screws. I call them the silver, metal, whatever. I'm going to add these screws, and it's a total of 8. I think it's 2, 4, 6, a total of 8 of them. That's going to go on this front plate. If you watch part 1, it'll tell you how to take it apart. There's a couple things that you need to do. And now that I'm putting this back together, let's go ahead and put this back together and see if it can work. I'm gonna take it to the door, push the button, and see if my camera will allow me to link up with it again. So Again, my camera was blinking green, and again, none of the forums talked about a green. Even on simplisafe or whatever it's called, none of them said, "Oh, the green light means your battery is going out." None of them said that. So I took it upon myself to do a little bit of research and kind of find out that when you have a green blinking light, that means you obviously not connecting, your camera is not connecting because the battery has stopped recharging. We've had this for a while, so would make sense that it would make sense that the battery would stop working after 4 or 5 years or whatever. Um, so that makes sense. So, anyways, here we go. We're getting it all put back in, you guys. Get all my screws in. I'm gonna put my faceplate cover back on. 1, 2. So how many I said? 8 screws. I got 4 in there right now. Got 4 in there right now. How's everybody doing? Everybody okay? Cool, cool. Look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to do this. It just takes someone showing you how to do it, and then you take it from there. There's not too many things you could mess up. If you don't have a soldering iron, that's probably going to be the biggest thing that you're going to need to really make this a good, solid connection. A solid connection, and that is professional to the most part. But after that, you're good to go. We're gonna put this back in, and probably gonna, I don't know if I have to charge the battery. Normally lithium batteries come already pre-charged, so let's see. Now they say when you hold the reset button down for like 10 seconds, it'll say something like ready to pair or something. It wouldn't do that when I had my old battery in. So, and I did connect the same black side to the black side, red side to the red side, and made sure that everything was exactly the same when I changed out the connectors. Here's the old connector, which was a little bit too big, so I used the new connector. This is the one that came on the batteries. Was too big, so I used the other one. Okay, so we got our 8 screws back in the face plate. Go ahead and put my cover on. It kind of just snaps into place. I kind of like that it's easy to take off, but all right, snap into place, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit the reset button. Or maybe I shouldn't. Maybe if I just go put it on there, it'll link up the way it's supposed to. Let's see. Let's go check it out. Yeah. Go check it out. Check it out. Let's see if that fixed anything. A lot of locks there. A lot of locks. All right. We are back at the front of the house door, and just gonna put this on. See, mine is already hardwired for my doorbell. And what happens is when you're not ringing a bell, the actual little trickle charge that comes from here keeps the battery charged, so it'll last a long time. It's just that when it goes out, it goes out. And ooh, look, I got a different. Hold on, let's see. Do I got a different? Let me take this little thing out the bottom of it. Hold on. 1 second, you guys. Happy Halloween, by the way. Oh yeah, it's working. Oh look, oh my gosh, I can see it already working. Look, see the red light on the camera? It's already working. It's working. It's ready to rock. So put that on there. Slide it down. Oh, I guess I should show you that. All right, so I can tell it's working. I'm gonna put it on here. Sit it on there. You slide it down. Okay. We got it on there. It's working. Hold on. Let's see what happens. Now I got a blue light. This was not blue before we changed the battery. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put my little locking pin screw in it so that way, look at the camera is working. Everything is working. I didn't even have to reset it. Why? Because the battery was so dead that even when I was trying to reset it, it wasn't resetting. The battery was no good. Now I put a new battery in and the doorbell works perfectly. You guys, I hope if this helps you out, if that helps you out, I hope you guys hit like on that. This is part 3. I showed you how to take it off, how to take it apart. Wait for the battery to come. The link for the battery is in part number 1, and you guys can go ahead and make this, make your doorbell work. Happy Halloween.